Hello, welcome back to another Clash Royale video. Exams just finished earlier. I had my last one earlier this morning, so that's pretty nice. I should be able to upload more throughout the following months since we have an end of year break and COVID-19 lockdown, so there's not much to do. Today we are going to be looking over how to win a grand challenge. A lot of people think it's really difficult to win a grand challenge. It's really not, if you have the correct mindset and find a day where you play very well. So, for the how to win a grand challenge, for the first 5 to 6 wins, I recommend using a safe and strong deck that you know works well in the meta. So for my first 5 wins, I chose minor Wallbreakers with NATO and Magic Archer. Now this one, this deck is has many more good matchups, other than many other decks that people like to play early on, because you play weird off-meta decks in the first 6 wins. So I like to play a safe control deck for the first 6 wins. Here I seem to be going against Queen by Archer Queen, Pekka and Ram Rider. So this defense is a little bit scary, but I just take a charge because I got a lot of damage in the other lane, and I go Wallbreakers so that it tanks for 2 of the shots, and the other Wallbreaker also connects. So very nice start to the game. Now, I can't be bothered really just explaining what happens in the gameplay, so I'm gonna say something that's quite entertaining that happened earlier. So, our results for our exams come out pretty quickly and just randomly, right? I assume that I get my English result back because we have this thing called Schoolbox, where it's this online program that keeps charge of school tests and assignments. So we just basically use this program for just about everything. Yeah, and the program, it told me, oh, you got a new English assignment that's been marked. So I'm like, okay, cool. That has to be the end of the year. And it says the Crucible, which is the play that we've been studying. It says the Crucible end of the year. Oh no, sorry. It says it's Crucible Term 2 test assignment, and I didn't see that because I assumed it would be the end of year, and many others assumed it would be the end of year results. And my teacher, and then we realized at the end it was actually the results from Term 2 that my teacher just decided to just upload onto our program for just some reason. Just like, let's upload the assignment like 2 terms late, like 6 months late, that's a great idea. Yeah, so that's pretty funny. That happened today. Thing is, I didn't do that well in the Term 2 test, so I got really sad. But apparently it wasn't the final results, so I'm less sad now. Still pretty sad, but less sad. Anyway, looks like we are clutching this game, because at the start we didn't get a great start at all. Actually, no, we got a pretty good start, but we didn't have a nice end of game. So there, I NATO'd the Dark Prince away, so it doesn't hit my Wallbreakers, and we win the first game, which is really nice. This is my 4th win of the Grand Challenge. I almost lost, which isn't great, but that's okay. Next game we have against Joker, and this is going to be a E-Giant matchup. This is going to be E-Giant matchup. I'm playing the same deck because I think this is my 5th win right after the previous battle. This deck is quite easy to play. Just don't go overly aggressive in single elixir because they can punish you, especially if you have like a bad cycle or something. I feel like this deck with because it doesn't have log, the cycle can be a bit awkward. He's playing this Skeleton King E-Giant deck with skeletons because to cycle, I'm guessing, but it's a strange deck. And Skeleton King, even after the buff, it's not that great. It's not the greatest. It's still just like a okay card. Here I go with Wallbreakers, probably not the greatest of Wallbreakers, but he actually surprises me by using the ability right now. I didn't think he was going to do that, but he did. So, I guess I'm okay with that. Here, I just snipe the Goblin Brawler with the Magic Archer, and then I go with some Spear Goblins. Here, I'm pretty sure he just sacks all the damage and goes with E-Chine in the back, which is, I mean, that's an interesting play, man. But I'm pretty sure this Joker guy is pretty good. I checked his profile at the end, but yeah, interesting play. He like sacks half his tower. Maybe it works out for him. I'm not too sure. Here I just go bomb tower in the opposite lane. Anti-lightning placement. So you can't lightning both the weaker tower and the bomb tower, which is it works really well. I kill his Skeleton King, which look, it just does like no damage. It's so slow. Like maybe Supercell can buff it like its attack speed or something. Like it's pretty bad. Anyway, here we gotta go with the miner. He just goes E-Giant in the back. I guess respect. I think I go with pre-bomb tower. No, I don't. Okay, what I should have done here maybe is go with a pre-bomb tower, so I can cycle back to another one. Unfortunately, the Magic Archer doesn't connect. But I get a really nice NATO fireball here because I realize he has a lot of like fireballable troops just stacked up, and I go Wallbreakers in the opposite lane to pressure, which is really important in most matchups with minor Wallbreakers. You see there, I get two really nice connections, and I pressure in the opposite lane. Now, you never really want to pressure if you're playing this deck. You never want to pressure with Spear Goblins and the Wallbreakers. That's just not a great idea, I feel like. I go with either or neither. That's what I do. He uses skeletons in the opposite lane. He can't really take any more damage on the opposite lane, otherwise I can just I can have both a double lane pressure. But his tower is on like 400 HP, 500 HP. The game's basically over unless I somehow choke. This matchup, I would say, is probably mine. And you see here, I just NATO his Inferno Dragon, and this is why this deck is so safe to use in the Grand Challenge. At the end of the battle, you always have that NATO and the Magic Archer. Basically, just like you can't really stop damage. You can't really stop the Magic Archer like hitting the tower with that geometry. I think I lost like a game to Queen, to Archer Queen, and then I decided to switch to Archer Queen instead of Magic Archer in this deck. Honestly, I don't think that was a great play, but I was just kind of tilted, so that's why I did that. I think I lost 2 games to Queen and Queen, so yeah, I guess I just felt a bit tilted, so I changed to Archer Queen. We're playing against this guy who's also pretty good, I'm pretty sure. He's playing Mega Knight Bait. I think this game I had an awkward cycle, I'm pretty sure. This is what I was talking about. This deck sometimes gets awkward cycles. Like right now, I don't have any small spell to counter his spammy troops. Like sure, I have NATO, but NATO's 3 elixir. That's really expensive, and it's I can't really cycle back to it like instantly. It doesn't really work like that. He gets a little bit of damage with the skeleton barrels at the start of the game, but that's okay. We get some chip damage on both of his towers. Here he just goes with minor Spear Goblins to pressure, and I just counter with the Queen. So If you guys don't know how to play the queen yet, well, you just use the ability, and then you use the ability again, and then once it comes back, you use the ability again. That's how to play queen. So when you're playing queen, you never want to well, not use the ability. If you know what I mean. If you have the chance, even if it's like a desperation ability, you always want to use the ability. Okay, that's how you play queen, because it just always gets value anyway. It just doesn't matter. Even if you're like playing it into a Mega Knight, if your opponent Mega Knights it, you just still want to use the ability, because it's just so overpowered. Here, I was clicking on the ability. I'm like, okay, ability here, I'm fine. But then it just doesn't register. I'm like, what? Okay, cool. Here he actually succeeds with the bomb tower pull, but I predicted it, so I played it one to the right, so it goes for the bomb tower anyway. Here, I'm actually down by a bunch of elixir because the queen ability, like it just failed to activate for some reason. Here I go with a Valk to counter that, which is really nice. The bomb tower helps out too. You just hear just ability. Doesn't matter, just ability. I don't care, just ability. Just ability. Here I have some double lane pressure, and you see I just never mind, I don't ability there, but you just always want to use the ability. That's how to win Clash Royale. Here she gives me NATO value, which is nice, and because of my opposite lane pressure, the Valk and Wallbreakers did a lot of damage, and now we are up by a bunch of damage. We are not up by a bunch of damage, but just we are up. Okay, trust me. Here I go with the queen to pressure, and I just go with minor to defend, and my queen gets a bunch of damage, which is really nice. And now I have double lane pressure. Here I go with the bomb tower to both pull the Mega Knight and the bomb and the barrel, and I go with a Valk. And now I'm able to pressure both lanes, which is really nice. Otherwise, if the other tower was on 3000 HP or like 2000 HP, it wouldn't be great, because I would only want to put elixir in one lane. But now I have an option to put elixir in both lanes, which is really nice when you're playing minor Wallbreakers. See, just ability, he Mega Knights it, ability, he counters it with anything, just use the ability, okay? That's how to play this deck. Here I almost choked the game away. I have to fireball everything, and I barely hang on to the game. His tower's on like 400 HP. I'm like, okay, cool, I can just minor. Which, ability? I don't ability, I just NATO here. Okay, cool, that's fine. And then I just cycle back to another fireball, and he has to catch my minor, but he fails to catch my minor. Oh, he catches my minor, but I just NATO. And I win the game. Really nice win. Not the easiest matchup. I wouldn't say it's the greatest matchup for me, because he has that Mega Knight which just counters everything, and he has the Inferno Dragon, which is difficult for me to deal with. And he has a bunch of bait cards, and I don't really have a small spell like Zap or Log. I just have NATO, which is expensive. Here, I got wrecked by a lot of queen decks, so I decided to switch to a more OP deck. So this is my like 8th win of the Grand Challenge. I switched to this queen cycle deck. It's not really cycle, sorry, queen bridge spam deck. After losing to a bunch of queen decks, so and this is after 6 wins, by the way. After 6 wins, you want to switch to a really nice OP a deck that you're really used to playing. Well, I guess it doesn't have to be you're really used to playing it. Like it's if you're not used to it, I would suggest picking like a lower skill deck, but still being really overpowered in the meta. Here in this case, I decided to choose Queen Pekka. I chose Pekka because I realized I was playing against a bunch of Mega Knights, especially this deck with Mega Knight instead of Pekka. So I swapped it out for Pekka, which kind of helped, yeah. Because if I was playing the Mega Knight against this matchup, I'll probably lose because he has Pekka as well. But here he just goes for skeletons to distract my Pekka, while his Pekka destroys my Pekka. But I have Queen in cycle, so everything just dies. It's just over. And at the start of the game, he kind of dukes me with that lightning I wasn't expecting at all, so I had to like kind of overcommit to defend his like Dark Prince and Electro Wizard combo. That was a little bit scary. We don't have the greatest of stats, but the Ghost managed to take some damage off his tower, so we're not looking horrible. Now, this deck, how do you want to play this deck? Passive, you want to play this deck passively until you realize he has a bad cycle or he has some type of disadvantage, and then I like to Pekka in the back or Pekka in the corner if he's playing like Ram Rider or Hog. I guess he's playing Ram Rider here, it doesn't really matter. He lightnings my Mother Witch, which is nice because he can't lightning my Queen now. His Electro Wizard survives on like 1 HP, but I'm okay with that. I just use the ability, takes out everything, and I realize he doesn't have much in cycle to deal with my things. He has Ram Rider. Actually, he does have plenty of things in cycle. I was wrong about that. I guess that wasn't really the greatest offensive push ever, but the witch just, the Queen just kills everything anyway. Here I go with Pekka, and I lightning his Pekka, his tower, and his Queen. So I actually get a pig on the tower, which is really big in this matchup. I feel like it's really important to get like chip damage with pigs, with snowballs, with lightning. That's really important in this matchup, I feel like. He sets up with the Niwas in the back, and then he goes with Ram Rider. Interesting play. I would rather go Ram Rider the back than the Pekka like in front of it. He goes with the lightning here, which is kind of nice. I didn't really expect it, because I would think he would be saving the lightning for my Queen, but I guess he just kind of wanted that tower damage. I mean, it's an interesting play because you might think it's really nice to get tower damage with lightning, like using lightning cycle, but I think it's just better to cycle Pekka in the back and then build up the push. I'm pretty sure in this matchup. I get a really nice lightning there, hitting like 3 troops, and he has to even commit with Dark Prince to defending the Ghost. So here I'm really comfortable with going with Mother Witch, and then I Pekka because I know he's down in elixir, and he leaks like 1 or 2 elixir because he didn't know what to play. Here I go with the Snowball, but he has a really good lightning snowball combination that basically just kills everything, but my pig gets a few shots, which is really nice. I'm actually down elixir here, so I'm forced to go with Pekka, and my snowball is in cycle, so his Rammer gets a charge, which is really unfortunate for us. But I know his lightning is in cycle, so I just spam my troops at the bridge, and he doesn't have anything else that's better in cycle, so I just lightning everything, and just because he used so much elixir, he doesn't have any elixir to counter the Ghost and the Ram Rider, and we get the win. That was a really bad start from us, but we managed to clutch up, which is really nice. Now, last one in the Grand Challenge. I actually got really lucky with a matchup here, because this man was playing like this Mortar bait deck with Skeleton King, again, which is just a bad card in general, and I get a really nice matchup here. Now this game I was super tryhard mode because it's the last game of the challenge, so when he goes with Spade Goblins here, I counter perfectly with a Barb Arrow. Now that is a play that you don't see all the time, right? Subscribe because of that play, okay? Like you have to have like mega reaction time. Like your reaction time has to be like spot on for that to actually work. Here I go with Pekka to counter that, which wasn't the greatest Pekka, but he didn't actually choose to use his ability. Instead, he opted to go for Minion Horde. He's crying here because he realizes the matchup that he has, which is not a great matchup. I think I hard counter. I don't think it's 100-0, but it's pretty bad. I have Mother Witch, which has to Fireball every single time. Here he just goes for a Fireball. which is kind of unfortunate. I actually wanted to use the ability there. I'm pretty sure I did press it, but because the queen died before it got down, I think it actually gives you back the elixir, which is really nice. Here, I believe I just cycle a Ram Rider in the back. That's another play that you want to do with this deck, because it's basically building up a push, and it's a little bit slower than like Hog Rider and other wing conditions, so you can cycle in the back pretty effectively. He goes with Mortar and a Skeleton King combo. I just counter that with a Mother Witch, and it's basically dead. I think I should have gone Pekka in front there, like faster, but I didn't really know what I was doing. Here he uses the ability. He has literally 0 elixir. What I should have done here is went Ghost opposite lane. Yeah, I should have like pressured here, like immediately. Oh, I think I do. Okay, yeah, I do, which is nice. And I activate the ability, and my queen just kills everything, and I get a charge, which is really nice. He's forced to go with a fireball, which is what we want to see. He realizes the matchup, he gives out the crying emoji, and yeah, I just have to not choke now. Ghost and then Pekka in the back. Against matchups with Expo, Mortar, Hog, Ram Rider even sometimes, I like to go Pekka in the corner instead of Pekka in the back, because it takes much less time for it to walk. So it can like tank or things like Expo, Mortar, and it can like attack Hogs much closer. But here I just basically overwhelm him. He's forced to fireball the wrong thing, and my Pekka gets like 2 hits on a tower, and that's a really nice Grand Challenge win. Yeah, that guy was pretty good. He had like a Grand Challenge win. He had like a couple of ladder and tournament finishes. Let me see. Yep. He was decent. Anyway, that's a really nice Grand Challenge win for us. I might be making some videos in the future, but if you enjoyed that video, make sure to subscribe.